Good morning, students. Today we begin last lesson of the Unit 2, uh, Ashok Rathod's Football Oscar. Of course, you see here the person who is playing and the person who is commanding the others. Okay. Now here we are going to learn about how a boy, Ashok Rathod, who was about to be dropped from the school, but with the help of his own parents, he was able to study well, even though his own sisters and brother were not studying. They were, in a way, not educated, but still he was given a chance to be educated by his parents, his father. And how this boy, after being educated, he came to realize about the importance of education. Now, what happened? He joined a club, and then from there he started his own organization called Oscar, an NGO. And through Oscar, what he does, he's trying to help other dropout students from his own slum area, and then he is trying to bring them back to the education, and the method that he uses is football. Okay, so by inviting them to play with him the game of football, he is in a way supporting them, encouraging them to pursue their education, to continue with the education. Now in this lesson we are going to see as to how he is able to achieve the talent, how he is able to change the life of so many of his fellow slum dwellers. Okay, now you would have read the you would have you would have listened to the uh, lesson presentation, lesson reading, and now I will give you a short explanation so that it is easy for you to understand. Then of course you are supposed to read the lesson, and you are supposed to understand and do all the exercise that you find behind the lesson. Okay, now we will start reading the lesson. In the early morning on a Sunday, an excited group. What is an excited group? A group that is really happy about doing something. A group that is really happy. Okay, in this place, excite means to be happy because they are going to do something. Okay, right. An excited group of boys play football in the back garden, a large ground in Kolaba, South Mumbai. So, in a place called Kolaba, which is situated in South Mumbai, there is a garden, and some of the boys are playing there. Both teams are wearing colorful jerseys. Jerseys, okay, it's jersey means a kind of t-shirt that we used to wear when we play games. Okay, that we call as jersey, printed with the logos that say Oscar Education with a kick. Okay, now that is a logo that we find on the jerseys of all the players who are playing the game. Okay, what is the name of the logo? Oscar Education. Oscar, OSCAR, Education with a kick. That is a logo. Now here we are introduced to another important protagonist of this lesson. Who is it? That is Ashok Rathod, a 23-year-old young man. So Ashok Rathod, short and curly hair, is the oldest of the players. Unlike others, he is also yelling instructions on how to kick or pass and egging the others on. Ashok isn't just playing for his team, nor is he the fastest or the most skillful footballer here. Yet the boys in both teams follow his lead and take directions from him. So what we see here, Ashok Rathod, a young man, okay, a youth, short and curly hair, some no different hairstyle, and his hair is bit curly hair, and of course he is the oldest of the players. Okay, he is the eldest among those who are playing. Now, unlike others, so others are playing, but he is yelling. Yelling means shouting. Okay, shouting. So when you play, we don't keep quiet and play. We are not silent on the ground. We shout, we yell. No, instructions. He is giving directions to the player as to how they have to kick or how they have they have to pass. Okay, egging the others means to encourage, and in this case, egging means to encourage others, to encourage to do something, to encourage, encourage to do something, or to tell others to do something. That is the meaning of egging the others on. Now he is not just isn't just playing for his team. No, he is the fastest. Okay, now here we see that he is not only playing for his team, he is also encouraging the players from the opposite team. And he is not very good at games also. He is not the fastest player, he is not a very skillful footballer. Okay, but what happens, all those who are there, they listen to him. All the players who are playing football, they listen to his instruction and they follow. Now today's first goal scorer is Anil Chauhan. So Anil Chauhan is another boy who is playing with Ashok Rathod, and he is the first goal scorer. um, Tall and well built, he is from a nearby Ambedkar Nagar and a sprawling slum colony of about 12,000 people. So this boy Anil Chauhan is from a slum near Ambedkar Nagar, and in that slum there are around 12,000 people, very big slum. Anil had, like many poor urban kids, dropped out after a few years of primary schooling. Okay, so like any other, so here urban means a place that is bit away from city, away from city. It's still a city but out of city, so that we call as urban place. Now Anil is from an urban place, urban slum, and he is a dropped out. Dropped out means to discontinue the education. Okay, to discontinue an education. Okay, that we call as dropout. Now he is also dropout like his own people who are playing the football. Okay, now with the primary education, so he has studied only from class 1 to class 5. Okay, then he couldn't continue, he dropped out. Years later, when he started working as a housekeeper in a bank, he realized his mistake. What happened after growing up, when he started working as a housekeeper in a bank? Who is a housekeeper in a bank? The one who does the work told by the others. No, if people are asking you to go and buy tea, you have to go and buy tea. Or if someone is asking you to go and take Xerox, you should go and take Xerox. So like that, he should listen to all the others, he should be obedient to all the others. Okay, because he is not educated, and therefore he can only get only that kind of job, very menial job. Okay, housekeeper in a bank. And then it is there he realized his mistake. He thinks, no, if I had studied well, I would have been the person who is sitting and then commanding the others, not being commanded to. Okay, that's how he is able to realize his mistake. He says, I don't know how to read or write and couldn't even sign my name. He says, I can't even sign my name. I don't know how to read or I don't know how to write. He says, who enrolled at a night school last year because of Ashok Rathod. So he is playing, okay, and this boy has enrolled means to be registered. So you are all doing the registration, right? So which means that is the meaning of enrolling. Okay, to be registered in a night school. Okay, usually there are different kinds of schooling. So there's something called evening school. Okay, so there the people who are working during the daytime, they are free in the evening, and then they go and then they continue with the education. Okay, there's a night school. Okay, for people who are working the whole day, and 1 or 2 hours they can go and then they can study something. Okay, so that's a night school. Now he has enrolled at a night school. And what happened, because of Ashok, no, the boy, we saw him here. Okay, so the boy who encourages others, it is Ashok who encouraged Anil Chauhan to be registered in a night school to continue with the education. Okay, he says, doesn't matter that I am only in class 5 and 22 years old. So Anil is 22 years old, just 1 year younger to Ashok Rathod. So he says, I am in class 5 now. Okay, I dropped out in my primary education. I am still in class 5, though I am 22 years old. Then what he says, many of the other players too went back to school because of Ashok, who started their football session 5 years ago. Okay, now as these boys come to play football with Ashok Rathod makes use of this opportunity to encourage them to at least study something, to continue with the education. Okay, so like Anil Chauhan, there are many others who are playing with Ashok. They go to study there. Okay, so either evening school or night school, and they try to continue their education. When Ashok was a child, now we are going to see about a short history of Ashok. When Ashok was a child, his father Shankar Rathod, a fisherman, regretted that his daughter and older son had dropped out of school. Now, when Ashok was a child, Ashok's elder brother and his elder sister, they dropped out of the school. They discontinued. Okay, so his father Shankar Rathod felt very bad for them being dropped out of the school. At one point, Ashok too wanted to quit, but his father insisted that he continued, much against the neighborhood norm. Usually, in their neighborhood, in their slum, people don't really realize the importance of education. They never encourage their children to go to school and then be educated. Okay, so that is a neighborhood norm. Okay, but what happens? Ashok's father wanted to encourage his son to study well, to continue with education. Okay, unlike the neighborhood norm that says you don't have to really go and study, just go and do some work. Okay, because Ashok's father Shankar Rathod, he felt no he felt his elder son and the daughter, they dropped out of the school, and even this boy, small boy Anil, is also Ashok is also going to be dropped out, and therefore he insisted. Okay, he gave a pressure on Ashok Rathod to study well, to continue with his education. So Ashok talks of how little value his peers means companions. Okay, companions. PANIONS, companions. Okay, so Ashok says how little value his peers and many of their parents placed on education. So even Ashok Rathod feels, after being educated, many of his companions and their parents, they don't really value the education. For them, value education is a kind of low value. It's not really necessary. Okay, right. Now he says, I saw boys regularly drop out of municipal school, recalls Ashok. He says, some left during a morning interval and never returned. As for girls, a good many don't attend school anyway. So he says, these boys who are in the school, they never ever really continued with the education. Okay, so some, he says, they will go out during the interval time and they will not come back. Okay, girls, they would never ever go to study anyway, he says. So the dropped out boys used to hang out at nearby Sassoon Docks, Mumbai's biggest fish market. Now, the boys who dropped out of the school, what they do, hang out means simply to roam, roam around, simply going here and there without doing any work. Okay, so these boys who dropped out of the school, where they usually go, they went to the Sassoon. It is a Sassoon Docks, which means it's a place where the fish, no, it's a close, that place is closer to the sea. Okay, so dock means where we get so many ship, and the ship gives you fish. Okay, the fishermen bring the fish and then they start selling. So there is a fish market. Okay, so these boys who drop out of the school go to that fish market. Okay, so what they will do, they would steal or pick up fish that had fallen from the basket to sell and to make easy money. These boys who drop out of the school, straight away they go to the fish market, and then they either steal the fish or they take the fish that is fallen from the basket and they sell and make money out of it. That's easy money, no? Okay, so you are not really investing in anything, but still you are stealing, or you are simply taking whatever is there down and then you sell it and you make money. Okay, so some boys spoil their education, spoil their future by doing these. Okay, right. Now the other thing we will see in the next part.